Clearly, the centre of this side of the cam needs that screw there needs to be centered over the axle, and this one on this side is, and it's reasonably tightly fixed onto the offset part of the crank. No, it's part of the crank. It's not a cam, it's a crank. So this outside crank piece here is fixed. Let me show you the other one. Well, let's turn that to the bottom. The crank is falling off. Not falling off, it's off. There it is. Now, even though I've improved its fit by filing it, and with the screw in and the screw tightened up, there is still a degree of play. So there's the cam more or less over the axle, but as you can see, it can swing sideways, and I think that swing is what causes the problems, that the cam itself moves, so it's no longer central over the axle. So what I've done is, this is an automatic center pop, and it will distort metal if you stick it into metal and push down hard, quite hard. I was surprised. It distorts the metal. I've also adjusted that around. Basically, that's a tighter fit on there now because the metal's been distorted, and I've actually physically, with the pliers, turned the bit of the crank that's underneath it round, so that screw hole now is much nearer central over the axle of the wheel. I've also put a bit of super glue under there. I thought, well, let's do what I can to really hold it in place firmly. So now I'm going to put the little, at the end of the crank, the little eccentric back on, and then we'll be able to see if I've still got a bit of super glue on my fingers sticking onto there, if it's any better at running. And I don't see how I can test it out without steaming up. Right. Oh, this is sort of starting once the eccentrics are in the right place. Not quite slipping to the right place. Oh, I've not quite got it right, have I? Or the quartering, or not a lot of pressure anyway. Get some more pressure. Let's look at the phases of these valves. Oh, I've got to hold this much more steady relative to the valve, haven't I? Be better on a rolling road, wouldn't it? Then the other side. Right. Okay. Look how much smaller the movement is there. Which is back to the problem I saw right at the very beginning. Okay. Okay, so trying to find out why things are not timed properly. And what I've got now is, well, I've taken the eccentric off. That's the eccentric cam. Goes the other way up on there. It's a reasonably tight fit in there. I can't see any reason why the dimensions of that, the distance between the hole and the pip, should be any different. The hole looks a bit oval to me there, but now I've sleeved it onto the screw. That's a reasonable fit in the hole. You know, that goes in there quite nicely. So that it's not as if there's not too much slop about that. That's quite good. Anyway, just slide that out of the way now temporarily. So as I turn this, that crank now, that outside crank, is pretty well directly over the end of the axle. And if I put something through there, oh, there's a narrow screwdriver. I can't leave it in there because the rods will come past. But if I have that on there, onto the end of the axle, then, yeah, the rod's got to go past, but I'll pick it up again. Yeah, as far as I can tell by eye, and the other way I can try and do it is to try and have the end of the screwdriver pointing onto the hole there. You see, this is all about parallax and... Oh, let's have a look. I should be able to get it so that it appears to be in line all the time. That moved away, didn't it? That moved away. It looked like it moving away. That's confusing. Now, the other thing is the quartering. Let me show you what I mean by that. So, this position, the position of the, let's call it the crank attachment to the wheel, top dead center, counterweights at the bottom there. If you turn the loco over, yep, not moving anything. Turn the loco over, then that should be exactly horizontal. It's pretty darned close to being horizontal, isn't it there? If I twist that now, let's turn it round to being horizontal the other way. That's not... Okay. That's horizontal the other way. It's the middle one that counts, this middle wheel where everything's connected. Okay. And then turn it back again. Then look at the quartering. On that middle one, it's just not quite. Look at that. It's a few degrees out. So maybe there's some cumulative things. Maybe the quartering isn't spot on those wheels. I don't know how they could be off because I think the wheels are pressed onto the axles. No idea how you would adjust the quartering. They're not screwed on, not fastened on with any pins or anything. Just probably a press fit on. This is the cam without any back pressure at all. That appears to be swinging around quite a lot there. That's one side of it. That's one side of that. And that's the other side of it. So it's the cam is at 45 degrees to the crank. Yep. 45 degrees to the crank one way or the other. And when that's on, it should be 45 degrees out of sync with that crank. Well, been studying this for a little while. The quartering could be out by a couple of degrees between the wheel on this side and the wheel on the other side. I've not done anything about that. But the other thing was just looking at the phasing and the movement of the pilot valve here. Everything's very oily. On the other side, the movement of the pilot valve was smaller going in one direction than it was going in the other direction. And I think I've corrected that by adjusting slightly the crank here, moving the crank slightly, and that seems to have corrected that. But the other thing is that the position of the pilot valve here, if I move that over further, if you watch where it goes, how far in and out it goes, it's moving by about the width of the screw head in and out. But this one comes out so that the end of this bit of the pilot valve is beyond the end of this bit of frame, and then when it goes in, the screw head isn't quite beyond, and there's that much left. And then you turn it in reverse, it gets its phasing different, and it's moving the same distance in and out. But that's its position when it's in, that's the position when it's out, which it is a different range of movement to the pilot valve on the other side. I'll just do that. Now the proportion of movement should be the same both ways now. So when the pilot valve comes out, not quite out as far. Yeah. And when it goes in further. Okay, that's a good range of movement there. Now before, when I was going in reverse, the range of movement was much smaller. Now that's better. The range of movement is, I don't want to do too much changing all at once. Anyway, I think that's a bit better. These are tiny little incremental changes in the angle of the crank. Yep, adjusting of the cam so that the changes effectively from forwards to backwards. And yes, maybe I'll have a go at trying to clamp one wheel in the vise and then turn the other wheel to adjust the quartering. I think I'm low on battery. And I'm getting tired. It's not that late. But yeah, time to leave it. There it goes, some steam. That's what we want it to be, self-starting. Possible. Let's clear the that's a little bit better. It's going forwards. This is the adjustments made last night to the angle of the crank. Woo! As it bounces over that. So self-starting, which was good. That's the thing we want to see. Okay, I don't need to run it too many times. I'll get it to this point. Right, stop it. And then gently push it backwards. Let's turn the gas off. Push it backwards to get the eccentrics in the right position. Open it up. And look, it's almost self-starting. A little bit jerky, wondering about the timing. There's a little bit more we could do. Let's open that steam a bit more. A bit more steam. Right, well, that was running better forwards than backwards this time. Have a look. Well, let's see. Yep. Oh, well, look at this. So, it's running all right forwards, not running so well backwards. Let's just take it carefully over these. Come on, and it should be self-starting when the pressure gets up. Turn that off a bit. Let the pressure get up again. Oh yeah, the pressure's dropped. Right down. Just a little bit of steam out of there. If that's enough. Enough. That's the gas rattling. Well, I think it's... No. Gotta get the steam right. Come on, get starting. Self-starting, that's what it should be. Oh, we'll turn that off. Let this pressure build up again. Let's open that. There's a little bit more pressure in it. Yeah, look, that's enough for now. Just have to try it backwards again. Come on, open it. Come on. Oh my goodness. Oh, almost. No. It's obviously struggling a bit to go forwards for a smooth. Well, that's what it's doing backwards.